My name is Lauren Eckstrom, and welcome to the 60-minute live practice. This class is all about returning to the basics. There'll be a little bit less talking, a deep connection to the breath, as we return to the foundational movements of a power yoga practice. I hope you enjoy the grounding qualities of this simple practice. I'll see you at the end, and if you haven't already, be sure to click subscribe below. Start in child's pose, and feel free to bring the big toes together, open the knees, the distance that feels right for you. If you'd like to have some support near your mat, blocks or bolsters, have that support nearby. And we'll begin. Shifting the hips back to the heels, maybe stretching the arms out ahead, the distance of the shoulders, and resting either the forehead to the floor or a block. If it's appropriate and right, allowing the eyes to close. And remembering that if for any reason child's pose is not the right position for your body or for where you are today, that you can find a position that feels appropriate to the theme of today's practice, which is really this quality of simplification. And so finding a place that allows you to settle and arrive, knowing that that can take some time. Sensing that there might be some restlessness at the level of the body or the level of the mind. And it might be supportive to acknowledge wherever it is you're coming from. It might be helpful to take somewhat of an internal bow to the things you've already done today. And then again, to the extent that's possible, putting those tasks, those to-dos to the side, and really granting yourself this time by beginning to deepen the breath. And so there's nothing actually in this moment that you need to change about your breath. Maybe for the first time today or for the first time in several hours, noticing your breath. And just for a couple of moments, riding those waves. Inhaling, you know that you're breathing in. Exhaling, you know that you're breathing out. And that you don't have to do anything original to the breath. You don't need to be creative or forceful. It doesn't need to be any different. And this body knows how to be breathed, and you can rest in that trust. And over time, the only shift that we would make is that subtle transition into the sound of Ujjayi as you draw the breath through the nose and along the back of the throat, creating a very sweet sound. Again, like you're riding those waves and they're just crashing, clearing, and allowing you to begin again with each cycle of breath. And if it's not available today, that's okay. Body, it doesn't need to be any different than how it is today. And so just from this place, on your next inhale, rise up onto all fours, sliding the hands underneath the shoulders, lifting the hips right above the knees. And as you discover yourself in tabletop pose, take a moment there.
Let it integrate. Spread the fingers, press into the tips of the fingers. Notice the urge right away to get moving, maybe even to distract yourself from sensation or restlessness. Be and breathe. Be with what you're experiencing today. And then as you maintain your breath, stretch your right toes to the back of your mat. Let your toes rest on the floor for a moment. Press and drive your heel back. Some of us might feel a stretch through the toes, the arch of the foot, an engaging of the posterior side of the right leg, the calf, the hamstring. You could always leave the toes on the floor, or on an inhale, lift the right leg the height of the right hip. Sense for a moment that the right hip is turning down toward the floor as the left hip hugs in, so that causes a little bit of an engagement of the low abdominals as they lift. And again, you could stay there, or on an inhale, maybe you reach the left fingertips forward, bicep mirror by the ear. And the entire time, those waves of breath keep rolling in and out. As you arrive into this pose that you've probably done maybe at this point in the course of your practice thousands of times, you're present for it. You're not trying to rush through it. And there's a sense that you're not just lengthening your body, you're strengthening your right shoulder, you're lifting your abdominal wall, you're expanding through the back body. And at the same time as you're present to all of those things occurring, you're also not trying to get anywhere. Take one more inhale, and then back to tabletop pose as you exhale. Left hand under left shoulder, right knee under right hip. Feel the sensation soften. Feel how the belly changes, the breath changes. It maybe fills more of the torso again. And then in your own time, step your left toes to the back of your mat. Be with what you're experiencing. So you might sense that this slower start to the practice challenges you. And that reminder that if it doesn't challenge us, it doesn't change us. And then you decide, do you lift your left leg or not today? And you do it from a place of deep understanding within yourself. What is it you're needing? You're going slow enough so that you can listen and integrate. As you keep breathing, maybe the right arm reaches forward. You draw those 2 points away, not trying to lift them higher. And then there's that little rock, side to side, left and right, maybe so subtle, not even obvious from the outside if someone were watching. But this relationship that we have to balance, which is always moving around center, little to the left, little to the right, little forward, little back. And we know, again, just how to do this work. We know how to be with things as they're changing, subtly or obviously. Take one more inhale, reach it out, and then exhale, set it all down onto the floor, tabletop pose, and find that moment again in tabletop pose, palms pressing, fingertips pressing, belly maybe softens. Notice if there was any tension in your face. And on an inhale, drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the heart, gazing forward toward the horizon, never throwing the head back. Exhale, tuck the tail, hang the head as you tuck the chin, and now round through the spine as you lift the navel to the back. And just a few more on the breath. So now for those of you that were feeling restless, here's your movement. You get to kind of shake that out. Inhale, exhale. And on your own, several rounds, your breath might be a little bit quicker, your breath might be a little bit slower. Take care of yourself. And sometimes we need to flow, and sometimes we need to go slow. We have all of these tools in our toolbox to really help us on the path of living our practice. On your next inhale, come back to a flat back. Step your feet back, upper push-up plank position, shoulders above the wrists, knowing that you could modify knees underneath or behind the hips. Take one more inhale here. Shift to the toes if you're in full plank. Bend the elbows. There's that moment in chaturanga, and then lower the whole body down onto the floor. Release the tops of the feet flat. We'll keep the hands where they are by the low ribs. With the elbows hugging in, inhale to baby cobra. It doesn't need to be high. Exhale, heart, chest, and chin lower slow. Maybe you could do this with eyes closed. 2 more like that. Inhale, shoulders roll as elbows squeeze. Exhale, lengthen to lower. You soften, you release. Last time, inhale as if to drag the heart through and dip the shoulders back. Exhale, heart, chest, and chin to the floor. Tuck the toes under. Press into the hands. Maybe press back to plank. And then downward facing dog, knowing that, of course, in those transitions, you could always press to the knees instead. And then as you find downward facing dog, the feet about sitting bone distance, the heels hiding out of sight behind the second and third toes. Whether knees are bent or legs are straight, finding length through the low back, the mid back. Arms long and strong, but never past that point of straight. And as you align your ears between your upper arms, eyes either closed or gaze at rest. And breathe. If you need a little bit of movement, you could bicycle the legs, sway the hips. And just remember that anything can be a meditation if we know why we're doing what we're doing, that it comes from a conscious place. So you're not moving to avoid what's arising for you. You're moving because that's really what's being asked for. There's a need and you're attending to it. If you brought in some movement, maybe you come back to a still downward facing dog, take a breath in. And as you exhale, bend the knees, look forward, walk the feet up to meet the hands. Let's have them about sitting bone distance. Slip the hands to the shins as high as they need to go. So you draw the rounding out of the spine, you lengthen from tail to head. Then exhale, fold, bend the knees or not, catch opposite elbows, maybe sway a little bit. You could nod the head. If you added in some of that swaying, allow that swaying to eventually come to rest. Hang the arms down toward the earth. Hang the head. Notice if the head started to lift. A slow roll to stand, a little bend in the knees. Your head is the last thing to come up as you eventually rise to stand. At the top, roll the shoulders down the back, turn the palms forward, find Tadasana, the pose that ultimately almost every posture in yoga is looking to come back to, that our alignment here feeds our alignment in every single pose we enter into. For some of us, it's quite uncomfortable to stand tall and to be still. Arms by the sides, palms open, soft tissue side of the body exposed. And bring your palms together at the space of your heart into the gesture of Anjali. Backs of the thumbs touch the front of the heart as you bow the chin. And whether eyes are opened or closed, taking this moment as we move today in a way that aligns us with a practice that has been done for thousands of years. I love the reminder that we don't need to reinvent the wheel. And I remember for myself again and again, every time I step onto the mat, these poses, these postures, the way that they're linked together. I never show up in a class that moves through a traditional Surya Namaskara A and think, ugh, I'm so bored of this. I'm always so grateful for these familiar movements. And so today, knowing that we don't need to be original in order to receive the greatness of a moment, a history, a lifespan, And so can we rest in the simplicity? And at times today, I'll invite you to actually listen to the silence. And so from here, we flow. On an inhale, circle both arms to the sky. I'll guide us through the first couple of rounds. Then exhale, fold all the way down. Flat back on an inhale, you take the rounding out. Hands down as you exhale, step back to plank pose and lower on the same out breath. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. It's always your choice. Down dog as you exhale, press your way up and back, and we'll take a few rounds of breath here in downward facing dog. And so this practice from beginning to end is one continuous line of meditation, a quality that the yogis would refer to as dharana. And so you point your attention once again to the place your body's connected to the earth, the physical alignment, which allows energy to flow freely beyond our constricted habits and patterns, knots, or samskaras. And as those channels open, we open and invite the breath to help support us, especially at the level of the mind, so that we can do this one thing fully. From here, on an inhale, press the chest back. Bend the knees as you exhale, step or hop, feet to meet your hands. Inhale, lengthen spine and back. Exhale, forward fold and bow in. Inhale, rise to the sky. Hands back to the heart on the out breath. One breath, one movement. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold and dive down, empty out. Inhale, reach the heart out. Exhale, hands down, step to plank and lower slow or float to chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take several breaths here, listening to the sound of your breath and then listening into the spaces of silence. On an inhale, press the hips up and back. Exhale, bend the knees, step or hop, top of the mat. Reach the heart out, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Two more rounds. Inhale, sweep to the sky and rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. On your own, two more. When you get to down dog, we'll hold down dog for about 3 breaths. And at the end of your next exhale, press your hips up and back. Step or float, top of the mat. On your own. Find your pace. It might be different. You honor it. You trust yourself. This is how we start to cultivate personal practice. Last round here, we'll meet back up at the top of the mat. When you get to down dog, again, you're there for about 3 breaths. And it can be challenging in some of these practices to have a little bit less guidance. And if that arises for you, knowing you can always gaze up at the screen, you're not alone. But we also want to empower you to know that you are not reliant on an external teacher for this practice. In your own time, press the heart back, step or float, last time, top of the mat. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Rise to the sky in your own time. Hands to the heart. Take that moment. If you're already there, we meet, we arrive, we connect in this collective quality of presence. And we move on. On an inhale, bend the knees, drop the hips, sit back to chair pose, reach the arms up. And can you find positive tension in the body? So learning how to be with tension, learning how to be with stress in a way that's useful. And so curling the pinky fingers in slightly so the shoulders broaden and slip down the back. The toes a little bit light as the shins slip back and the heels bear the weight. A slight lift of your navel towards your face. Take one more inhale. Fold as you exhale. What we call Ardha Uttanasana, flat back on your in-breath. Plant the hands, step back, lower slow on the out-breath. Cobra or up dog as your shoulders roll back. Down dog as you exhale. And on your inhale, lift your right leg about the height of your hip. Exhale, step the right foot forward, spin the back foot flat, rise up to your first warrior one on your in-breath. This one will hold. Keep breathing here. As you descend your right thigh toward the earth, can you turn your left waist ahead? Your back left toes pivot slightly forward to help you in that work. So it's our forward-facing warrior. The arms reach up, imagining that someone was holding your wrists like a little kid in a swimming pool, lifting you up and out of the water, and you'd feel that tractioning through the spine, growing longer through the mid-back. Take one more inhale, reach up, maybe gaze up, maybe the palms touch. Exhale, plant the hands down, step right back. Keep pressing the breath out as you lower slow. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Down dog, exhale, lift the left leg on the in-breath. Step the left foot through, spin the back foot flat, rise up warrior one on your left side. Close the eyes on this side. The feet are the distance of the hips, so there's stability in the legs. You might even imagine drawing a quality of groundedness up and into your body from the earth, as if you could be inspired literally through that in-breath by the stability of the earth. And then as you grow the arms up toward the sky, bringing into it a quality of levity. We don't have to take it so seriously. Doesn't need to be the perfect pose, doesn't need to feel perfect today. We find our pose, we rest into it, and that is the heart of yoga asana. Can we sit with what's here without running away? Take one more inhale, reach up, maybe the palms touch. Exhale, plant the hands to the floor through the vinyasa or not. Inhale as your shoulders roll back. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we're going to pick up the pace a little bit. So take a moment in down dog and establish yourself. But the reminder that child's pose is always present, that this practice is yours. So you make it medicine today. You're the one that dishes out the dose that you need. I'm not a doctor. Take an inhale, press the hips up and back. We'll flow twice. Bend the knees, exhale, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, inhale, knees bend, arms sweep. Stand as you exhale, trace the hands to the heart. Let's keep it simple. One breath, one movement. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hands down, step back, lower with control. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, right foot through. Inhale, one breath. First warrior, you rise. Hands down, step back, descend on that same out breath. Fill the lungs. Inhale, expand. Down dog as you empty. Left leg up, inhale. Left foot through, lightly exhale. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Hands down, exhale, keep pressing breath out, lower slow. Inhale as you lift the chest. Down dog as you exhale, a moment there, feel into the hands. Notice if you're trying to get somewhere, as if this moment were not good enough. Why does this moment need to be any different? This moment is calling us into practice exactly as it is, exactly as you are. There's something here for you to work with. Last round, inhale, press back. Exhale, bend the knees, step or hop. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, inhale to chair. Stand as you exhale, hands to the heart. Here we go. Inhale, chair pose, sit back. Exhale, dive and bow in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hands down, step or float, elbows in. Inhale, shoulders roll. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, right foot through. Inhale, warrior one, you rise. Exhale through the vinyasa, or not, your choice. Inhale to the heart space. Exhale, draws you back. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left foot through. Inhale, first warrior, sweep and lift. Exhale, hands down, step back, your elbows hug your waist. Inhale, up dog. Down dog, exhale, lift the right leg up, inhale. Step the right foot through, exhale. Rise up, inhale, warrior one. Open up, warrior two as you exhale. Heel toe the right foot to intersect the back arch. Spread the arms out wide, turn the gaze ahead toward the horizon. Descend into the right thigh. Draw the left arm, the left waist back so it pulls you into center. And again, just symbolic of the present moment, head above heart above torso. This midline of the body is symbolic of you standing right here. Notice if the toes are clenching, spread the toes. Notice if your fingertips are reaching up toward the sky, any unnecessary tension in the forearms, the top of the hands. Can the arms stretch out without you needing to, again, reach into the future or the past? Flip the right palm to the sky, and on an inhale, reach the right arm up and overhead. Left hand resting so lightly on the back left leg. It's a side stretch, not a back bend, so keep breathing here. And imagine that you could send your breath into your right waist, into your right lung. Take one more inhale as you reach back. Come back through warrior two as you exhale. There's a moment there to pause. Take an inhale. Once again, maybe sit a little bit deep. And as you exhale, right elbow to right thigh, left arm straight up to the sky. If you want to change the right hand in any way, dropping the right hand to the inside or outside edge of the foot to the floor or to a block, you can. I'm going to stay right here today. It's really nice to simplify. Take an inhale, lean back, open the left arm a little bit like you were going to spread the left collarbone. And as you exhale, extend the left arm up and over the head. And just imagining once again you were in traction. Someone gently drawing your left arm forward, someone gently drawing your left leg back and growing longer through all of that beautiful intercostal muscle tissue on the left side waist. Give it one last little reach there. Then let the inhale carry you all the way back to reverse warrior. Right arm all the way up and back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, step back to plank and descend to the mat. Inhale, cobra or up dog if it's right. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, inhale. Left foot through, exhale. Inhale, warrior one, just passing through. Exhale, open up to warrior two. And then again, as you extend the arms out wide, can you soften the shoulders down the back? You're not pulling the shoulders down the back. It's just a gesture of letting go, only using what you need to here. And then find the breath again. The pace of the breath might pick up a little bit if the pace of the practice picks up, and that's okay. But sometimes we just lose the focus on the breath. We forget to attend to the sound of Ujjayi. We forget that in some way we have a choice. And so choose again where you are and how you show up. Flip the left palm to the sky, reverse on an inhale, take the left arm up, lift the left hip up, reach your way back. Strong in the legs, and you notice without even needing to look at it, you can feel it, that the left knee is tracking to the left. You're not collapsing inside that knee. One more inhale as you reach back. Let the exhale carry you back to warrior two. And you're there for a breath. Take an inhale. Let the side waist fill out left and right. Then exhale, left elbow to left thigh, right arm straight up to the sky. And again, you have a choice, knowing that this side might be different. Let it be simple today. Notice all the ways the mind tries to complicate it, maybe even by disembodying or dissociating, going to other places outside the mat, the practice. Come back. Lean back, take an inhale, let the right side of the chest spread. And exhale, extend the right arm up and over the crown of the head. Feel the left shoulder slipping down the back away from the left ear. Pressing down into the blade of the back right foot. Pressing down through all four corners of the front left foot. Give it one last little reach there as the left hip circles underneath you rather than sticking out behind you. Then reverse it on an inhale. Left arm circles all the way up and back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, step back to plank, descend to the mat. Inhale, cobra or upward facing. Exhale, down dog, we flow. Inhale, right leg lifts up. Exhale, right foot through. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior up and back. Exhale, right elbow, right knee, left arm overhead. Inhale, reverse your warrior, sweep back. Exhale, hands down, step back, lower slow or skip it. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left foot through. Inhale to first warrior. Exhale, spread to warrior two. Inhale, left arm overhead. Exhale, extended side angle, you sweep. Inhale to your peaceful warrior, you pull back. Exhale, hand cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog, two more rounds, right and left on your own. And as you flow and silence to the music of your breath, or maybe the music in the background, if you chose that, to have that some way in this moment, you're self-guiding the practice. We're still here together, connecting together in this community of the breath. And after your left side, pause in downward facing dog, whenever that is. If you need a rest or you just want to integrate a little bit more Specifically, you want to listen a little bit more deeply, you could always come to child's pose instead. Notice the shifts and changes that have started to take place. On an inhale, lift the right leg up and off the mat once again. Exhale, step the right foot through, the back foot flat, rise up, inhale to your last warrior one of the day. Open up into warrior two as you exhale. And on an inhale, straighten your right leg. Heel toe the back left foot in several inches, turning the left toe slightly forward, the left heel slightly back. Keeping the right leg straight, reach the right arm forward as the right hip slips back. And then right hand to right shin or a block outside of your foot. Finding Trikonasana triangle pose. Stacking the shoulders. Maybe turning the gaze up toward the left thumb if that's okay on your neck, knowing that it's always optional. And that same quality of pressing down through the feet and drawing into you the energies of being balanced and steady as you stand into the most stable shape in existence. So you might not be feeling very stable today. That's okay. You can use it for inspiration to inspire a greater quality of equanimity in your day. On an inhale, open the chest, and exhale, extend the left arm up and over the head. And you find yourself in extended triangle pose. But are you actually here? So remembering that you can really look from the outside like you're in a yoga pose. And your mind could be at the grocery store. And so we have to ask the question, is it still yoga if that's the case? So you wake up to it, you bring yourself back, and you start your practice again. Lift the left arm to the sky, take a breath. Turn your gaze down toward the floor. Take your time. Start to bend your right knee. Shift your right fingertips forward about a foot to the pinky toe side. And then shift your weight up and find yourself in half moon. Right hand under right shoulder or a block underneath the hand, which really most of us need because our arms aren't really long enough to reach the floor and get our spines parallel to the mat. You spread out wide in every direction and imagine that the sole of your left foot, we're pressing into a very firm wall or the palm of a teacher's hand. And from the pressing of that left leg back, can you feel the rebounding of the crown of your head forward so that you get even longer and you can fill with an even deeper, fuller breath? Take one more inhale in half moon. As you exhale, slowly start to bend your right knee. Step back into warrior two. Reverse your warrior on an inhale. Reach your right arm up and back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat. Spin to your back left toes and pause. Heel toe your right foot to the right a little bit. Left hand underneath your left shoulder. Inhale your right arm to the sky. And now we find our first twist of the day. Lean open and exhale your right arm up and overhead. So for any of my pregnant mamas who might be joining this practice today, you could just keep your right hand on the floor, especially if you're in your first trimester. Those of you that are in your second or third trimesters, you might just heel toe the right instead. On an inhale, reach your right arm to the sky. Exhale, place your right hand to the floor. Pause there in that high runner's lunge. Shift the weight forward, your fingertips forward, and lift your left leg parallel to the mat. So that same invitation here, if there's any reason why you're not twisting, you'll stay here. Otherwise, left hand under left shoulder or to a block. And on an inhale, reach your right arm to the sky, finding twisting half moon, or just holding standing splits. And there's a place for you wherever you are in your life journey today in this practice. Body type, every age, everybody belongs. You make it your own. Take an inhale, reach up, turn the heart to the right if you're in the twist. One last breath. Exhale, right hand down, left leg still lifted. Take one last breath in. Lower slow, left foot down to meet the right top of the mat. Hands to shins, inhale, take the rounding out. Exhale, fold and melt. Bend the knees, drop the hips, sit back into chair. Exhale, keeping the knees bent, bring the hands to the heart. If you're not twisting, you'll stay here. Otherwise, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. So now you imagining that you could cultivate deep breathing, hugging the inner thighs in. And then as you shift the weight to the heels, maybe you sit a little bit more deeply. Give it one last little squeeze. Rise back up to chair pose, arms to the sky, take an inhale. Forward fold, feel the space you made. Glance out, inhale, flat back. Hands to the earth as you exhale, step back to plank and lower to the mat. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog, pause and downward facing dog. Take several breaths. And how things don't need to be complicated to be effective. How oftentimes teachers or friends or loved ones will say something in such a simple way, and it's exactly what we needed to hear to wake up to a blind spot, to experience a shift. And so coming back to these very basic practices can be incredibly grounding for us. On an inhale, lift the left leg up and back. It reminds us of what matters. Exhale, step the left foot through, spin the back foot flat, rise up, inhale, warrior one. Open up as you exhale, warrior two. On an inhale, straighten the left leg. Heel toe the back foot in. And we do that to create stability. So especially for those of you that are hypermobile, which is really ultimately most people practicing yoga, even if you don't put yourself in that category. Reach your left arm forward, slip your left hip back, left hand to left shin, or a block outside the foot. So the block outside of the foot helps to keep the chest from collapsing forward. And so it's not like you're pressed between two panes of glass. That's not what's happening in the pelvis. The top right hip actually comes forward slightly, but the shoulders do stack. So it could sense that your upper back were kind of pressing against a wall, or the back of your right thigh. But the right hip comes slightly ahead. All these subtle nuances in the body. And as we attend to those subtle nuances, it's actually what helps to keep us embodied because we're inside of the body right now. Take an inhale, lean back. Exhale, right arm up and over the crown of the head. So you're not getting too esoteric with it today. You're not adding too much meaning, but you're just feeling the sensational level of the body. And really, it's that sensation and our ability to acknowledge it that helps us to connect the right and left hemispheres of the brain. And so we feel a fundamental level at our physiology of integration. On an inhale, reach the right arm to the sky, turn the gaze down. So it gets tricky because now your brain knows where we're going. Can you slow down? Bend the left knee, shift the left hand or the block forward about a foot, and then shift up and rise into this side half moon. Our inhale takes us up and into the pose, and then you stay, you keep breathing through the falls, through the imbalance, through the steadiness. If you're nailing your half moon today, you're breathing through those egoic moments. And you notice left toes point forward, left knee points forward, so the standing leg is safe. Take one more deep breath in and slow it down. Bend the left knee as far as you can. Reach the right foot back. Land in a light warrior two. Reverse it on an inhale for a final time. Cartwheel the hands down, spin to the back right toes, heel toe the left foot to the left so you make some space for the hips. You might stay here today or inhale the left arm to the sky and add in the twist. So if there are any pregnant mamas, I'll do the variation here. You're gonna heel toe the left foot to the left, turn the toes out, the right hand really far to the right. So there's lots of room for the belly if you're doing that in your second or third trimester. Wherever you are, maybe reach the left arm up and over the crown of the head if it's appropriate and right. Pressing the right heel back like you did at the start of practice when those toes were on the mat. On an inhale, left arm to the sky. Exhale, left hand to the mat. Look forward, shift forward, float the right leg parallel to the earth. You can stay here, cultivating strength in the left leg and space in the spine, or maybe right hand under right shoulder. Inhale, left arm to the sky. And it would be okay, actually, if you were in your second or third trimester to do this pose because the belly is facing the earth. You're not twisting the abdominal space. Any kind of twist, we're actually trying to get into the space of the upper back. But such a personal choice. Take one more inhale, crown of the head forward, right heel back, right arm spreading away from left, and then lower slow, left hand to the mat, right leg stays lifted, take a breath. Exhale, right toes meet the left. Inhale, glance out, pull the chest out. Exhale, fold and melt. Last standing pose, bend the knees, drop the hips, reach the arms up, inhale. Hands to the heart, exhale, keep the breath out. You could stay here or twist, left elbow outside of right knee. Keep breathing through that twist. Mamas, if you wanted to take this, you would open the feet wide, keep the left hand on the left thigh, and reach the right arm up. So you would barely be in it, but you could get some sense of it if you don't want to stay down the center line. Give it one last little squeeze there. Back to the center, inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive and fold over straight legs. Chest out, inhale for a final time. Hands down, step back, last vinyasa, descend. Inhale, cobra or upward facing. Down dog is your out breath, be there. Last down dog of the day. Leave yourself alone. Arrive in the pose. Stop fidgeting, fussing, avoiding, resisting. It's okay to feel whatever it is you're feeling today. So we're not contracting against any of the experience, and we're also not attached. If we're really, really liking this kind of pace, knowing we can revisit this practice, but also knowing other practices will be different, will challenge us in different ways. Take an inhale. Back to child's pose as you exhale. Big toes together, knees apart. Either support the forehead or outstretch the arms. Land. And that this is what we really need integrated into not just our practice, but our day. These quality moments of consciously slowing down, stepping away from the internal chaos, the external chaos, knowing that only if we're seeing clearly internally can we see clearly externally. And that's really the goal of practice, is clear seeing. Or the definition of meditation is to see things as they really are, to see ourselves as we really are. On an inhale, rise back up to all fours, crawl the knees forward, cross the ankles behind you, and roll right onto the back. Bring the feet out in front, heels underneath the knees, arms down by the sides, press into the feet. On an inhale, lift the hips right into bridge pose. Catch and interlace the hands underneath if you'd like. Walk one shoulder under, then the other. Breathe into the front body. Imagining that there was a block between the inner thighs. So as the inner thighs spiral down and the groins soften, the knees point straight ahead. Take one more inhale. And then keep the hands interlacing today and exhale and lower your body down and pin your arms underneath you. This is intense for some people. If it's painful, don't do it. But it can help us to open up that upper chest a little bit. So you might take a big breath up underneath the collarbones. And then one more time, press into the feet, lift the hips right into bridge pose. Little space between your chin and your heart. Little arch of the cervical spine away from the mat. Unclench toes, unclench jaw. Take one more deep breath in. Release the hands this time, lower slow, upward back, middle back, lower back. Heel toe the feet wider than the hips. Let the knees fall into touch. Left hand to your heart, right hand to your belly. Maybe close the eyes. We'll breathe. Take an inhale here through the nose. Open the mouth and let it go. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Out the nose, exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in. Open the mouth, let it all go. Ordinary breath in. Ordinary breath out. And stay with that. Hug the knees in. Happy baby pose. You could hook the big toes, hold the outer edges of the feet, the shins, or behind the knees. You might rock a little bit side to side. Close the eyes if it's okay. And then reach back down, hug the knees into the chest. Rock forward up to sit. Extend the legs out ahead. Flex the toes to the face. Sit up tall. Reach the arms up. Inhale. Fold over your version of straight legs. Remembering that if the spine is tight, you could even bend the knees a lot like you would do standing and then fold. You don't need to jam yourself into any pose in the same way that you don't need to jam yourself into any experience or relationship in life. We all know the times that we've tried to do that, it just doesn't work out as much as we try to force it. So the body is that conduit for lessons such as that deeper listening. The body is always going to tell us when we've gone too far, when we haven't been honoring the relationship, when we haven't been honest enough to see things as they really are, when we've been pushing an agenda. And so this is that practice to help you pull away from those tendencies that we all fall into in life. We all have desire. We all have dreams. We all want to strive. It's not that it's a problem. We just want to use those energies wisely with what the yogis would have called viveka or discernment. On an inhale, roll all the way up. And as you exhale, roll all the way back down. Hug the knees back into the chest. Keep the right knee where it is, send the left leg straight forward. Slip your left hand outside of your right knee. Reach your right arm out to the side, whether the arm is straight or you cactus the elbow, and draw the right knee up and over to the left. Find a twist. Again, pregnant mamas, you'll skip this or you'll do the wide version where the knees stay bent, the feet stay flat. And then you drop both knees to the left instead, which is always a nice variation for everybody. Inhale back to center, hug both knees in this time. Keep the left knee in, reach the right leg out. Just a moment there to hug the left knee in, press the right heel forward. And then second side. Dropping the left knee over to the right if you're taking the full twist. And in either variation, opening that left elbow, that left arm, letting the left shoulder blade fall down toward the earth to the extent that it can. Breathe, even here, subtle, slower, quiet, but still full of breath, each moment, each pose, each pause. And back to center, hug both knees in. Draw the forehead up to meet the knees, squeeze the fingers, squeeze the toes. Take one more deep breath in, hold it in, sip in a little bit more breath, and then let it all go. Extend the legs forward, drop the arms down by the sides, let the feet fall away, and land into the simplest yet most important pose that each of these moments has been building us up toward, Shavasana, a preparation for the ultimate final rest. And so it is in some ways, if the old you dies and you let go of everything that came before this moment and everything that's going to come after, a full and final rest. And allow this next breath to deepen. Keep the eyes closed. Spread the fingers, spread the toes. And reach the arms up and over the head, interlace the fingers, press the heels of the hands away. Walk the feet together, stretch through the toes, little arch of the spine as if you're waking up for the second time today. And then rebend the knees, curl onto your left side, cradle your head for a moment, take a breath. And press down into the hands and rise up to a final easy seat. Supporting yourself in any way that you need. Draw the hands to the heart. Bow the chin back to this place where standing practice began. When you tune in for a moment, you allow yourself to integrate. You sense in some way that what you're carrying forward with you off the mat and into the day is this spacious awareness that is always available to you in any moment. That no matter how complicated life seems, or it might actually be in reality, that underneath that complication is still a choice. We get to choose how we show up. We get to choose our energy. And so, can we make it simple? Can we make it uncomplicated? Can we trust this river of equanimity that is always simply waiting and inviting us to step into it? And so to remain in that flow today, to dance with it. On an inhale, thumbs to the forehead for clarity of thought. The fingertips to the lips for thoughtfulness of speech. And the hands to the heart for consistency of action, allowing your practice to guide you through everything you're thinking, saying, and doing. Namaste.
Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. If you haven't already, sign up for my newsletter at laureneckstrom.com. You'll be invited to join these practices for free anytime I host them live. You can also find all of my single classes, programs, series, audio meditations, and so much more at interdimensiontv.com. Thank you again for sharing your practice today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.